Here. We're going to listen to Diddy. No, we're going to listen to Jay-Z's lawyer speak out and speak up about the different allegations. And I think it's important because there's a lot of misinformation that's going on. And I think this is the reason. Hold on one second. I think this is the reason why Jay-Z's lawyer spoke out and spoke up. And we're going to play the clip. I wish I could show it. You're going to have to go over to Forbes to see the full information, but we're going to get to. Let me go ahead and do my disclaimer though. Copyright disclaimer: under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships and research. Fair use is use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged in our opinion and for entertainment purposes only. So I wanted to go ahead and do the disclaimer. We're going to get to the clip in regards to Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out in regards to his client. If you did not know, and I need to get to this because if you did not know, there's different pages that are putting out alleged misleading information. And I think this is why Jay-Z's lawyer had to speak up and speak out. Because whenever you have different allegations, that's what they are. It's a civil lawsuit and its allegations. And Jay-Z has stood up for himself, saying this information is not true. I wasn't there. I was here. Him and Diddy allegedly was at two different locations. We have people that's trying to change the date. And even the person that's alleging the allegation has said they've made some mistakes. And even the father had said he does not recall driving 5 hours. If you don't recall driving 5 hours there, you definitely don't recall driving 5 hours home. And then this is the biggest thing. She stated they made no comments about what transpired with her. And then this is the other thing. We don't shame victims. So prayers for the alleged victims that are really having concerns. If you have a situation, you run to a gas station. So you're telling me no one at the gas station called the police? No one at the gas station called protective services saying this young girl is here. Let's call the police. Let's get an ambulance. Let's get her checked out. Nobody did that. So that's why everybody's raising their eyebrows. So let's go ahead and get to the clip in regards to his lawyer speaking out. And then that way you guys can hear what's alleged and what's being said. So let's get to that. Like the videos you guys come in. Thanks for being here. Please don't forget to hit the like button. We only have one like. All you have to do is double tap the screen to hit the like. So once again, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before where you're watching from. Let's go ahead and get to the clip in regards to Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out. So here we go. Hold on one second. I have to change something.
House with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. When you're trying to evaluate whether something occurred, you have to look at different pieces of the narrative. The location, where it happened, the witnesses, who were they, what did they say, the details. The details are very important in time. So we start off with the location. And according to their complaint, after approximately 20 minutes, she arrived at a white house with a U-shaped driveway and a gate. There is no such location in New York, 20 minutes from Radio City. It does not exist. There is no such location. We don't know whether...
Thanks for being here. If you don't like what I'm doing, go to your own page. Hello, we're putting the information out there because there's so much misinformation. This is why Diddy's lawyer had to do this. Because there's so much misinformation. Like the video or move on. Go onto your own page. This is what we do. We talk trending topics, hot topics. Let's move on. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before where you're watching from. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
They created a
Thanks for liking the video as well.
Jurisdiction in New York so they could bring this case in New York, or that they just didn't do their homework. But any New Yorker knows there is no such location. Beyond that, this was supposed to have taken place at Mr. Combs' after party, according to them. When you look at the homes associated with Mr. Combs during that period of time, and even not during that period of time, none of them matches. He had a townhouse, he had a house in the Hamptons hours away, and he had homes in New Jersey, but not at that time. None of the homes work, the location doesn't work, because this never happened. And again, when you really bear down on the location and his whereabouts, you quickly realize, because of his photographic evidence and witnesses are coming forward, that Mr. Carter was in a commercial establishment after the VMAs. He wasn't at a house. Well, unfortunately for them, they needed to create this house in order to create the narrative. but he wasn't at a White House that did not exist. And this is a photograph of him at a location after the VMAs.
If you're just not coming in, there's going to be commercials that's going to play. I'm going to have to skip them. We're right now listening to Jay-Z lawyer explain this did not happen. And you're going to constantly hear him say that. Like the videos, you guys come in. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
After the VMAs. So as we can continue through this, Jane Doe does not say that the assault happened at a commercial establishment. She can't. That wouldn't make any sense. Yet they stand by it. They double down. They triple down. White House. The White House doesn't exist. And then we get to the witnesses. And I think at the outset, everybody has to remember that in 24 years, not a single witness has ever come forward saying this happened. Quarter of a century. Think about that. She says she's at the party alone, this 13-year-old girl, and she finds herself in the room with the three most famous people at the party. Just think about how unnatural, how little common sense that makes. And according to her, one of the witnesses is a female celebrity who's just standing there watching the repetitive rape of a child. Does nothing, says nothing, reports nothing. And in fact, they won't even identify her. According to them, there's an adult female.
Now, there is an alleged adult female. They have not named the adult female. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip. This is Jay-Z's lawyer trying to break down. He feels this event did not happen. Let's continue. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. We're listening to Jay-Z's lawyer do a breakdown. Thanks for being here, everyone. Reaction clip, fair use.
In the room watching the rape of a child. They refuse
alleged.
So then we continue. And you look, and there's celebrities that she says she's mingling with before. Afterwards, she says she runs out of the house naked. None of them notice that. None of them pay any notice. For 24 years, none of them has said anything. And so she's just asked in this interview, she's asked, well, I mean, celebrities are recognizable people. Surely you can tell us one celebrity that was there. Just give us one name so that we know this happened. And she says, okay, Benji Madden was there. And she wants to conjure up religion and say, I'm religious. I remember his tattoo. She looks and remembers so vividly the tattoo and the conversation with Mr. Madden. Well, Mr. Madden wasn't there. He already said he wasn't there. His tour schedule said he wasn't there. And he wasn't there because this never happened. None of this ever happened. And you keep going, and you ask yourself, well, who is this complaining witness? She does not come forward with her real name. She proceeds under Jane Doe. There's no report to the police. According to her, she never tells anybody for 24 years. Not one person, not alone in the car for 5 hours at home, on her way home. Not one person, not a diary, not a family member, not a friend. Most people, when this happens, there's a need to tell somebody. We call these prompt outcry witnesses. In most complaints like this, people tell somebody. She says nobody for 24, 25 years. And then we get to the details. And I want to...
like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Continue to hit the like button. Just double tap the screen. Fair use, reaction clip.
Make sure this is clear. When people make up an account, whether intentionally or their mind is playing tricks on them, they can always get that core part of the story right. They can just keep repeating it over and over and over again. This is what happened, that core part. But they're always going to mess up the details. When something isn't real, when something doesn't happen, you're going to get the details wrong because you weren't really there. And so she starts with her story about her friend that dropped her off. Okay? This drive of over 5 hours, the friend would have had to have gone 10 plus hours to drop her off. Because she's got to get there. If this is real, she's got to get there. But guess what? This friend of hers, she doesn't get out of the car. Right? Think about that. She's just leaving a 13-year-old girl alone in Midtown. She doesn't even want to get out of the car. She came all that way. There can't be a witness there. She can't have a witness there because this never happened. So as you keep going, you ask yourself, but how did she end up in the car in the first place? And so she creates this story. She says, I snuck out the window. Right? But now we know she came from Rochester. So she would have been sneaking out of the window at 3 in the afternoon in the middle of broad daylight. Never heard of such a thing. Defies common sense. Doesn't make any sense because this never happened. And so she tells this story because she's got to create a way that she gets out of the house and ends up in New York City. And as we keep going here, the friend that implausibly leaves her there, there's then some pressure on that part of the story. This doesn't make any sense. And so the lawyer is asked, well, just produce the friend. And so he has to find somebody that can make this work. And of course, as soon as he's pressed, they find somebody who they say is no longer alive. They can't corroborate it. There's nobody to talk to. Okay, and if we can keep going. Next slide. So she then gets there, right? And she has this vivid tale of watching it on a Jumbotron. It's in her complaint. Clear as day. There was no Jumbotron that year. Okay? I don't know whether they were Googling images and found the wrong year. I don't know whether she's just making it up out of whole cloth. There is no Jumbotron. In fact, they didn't even get a permit, according to the police and the city, for the Jumbotron that year. So that didn't happen. None of the details are right because this never happened. If we can keep going. And then she says, I'm knocking on the doors and the windows of limousines and VIPs. Of course, that doesn't work either. If you look at the video, photographs, that whole area was blocked off. We've spoken to numerous people there that were in security. No one could have gotten anywhere near those cars because this never happened. She gets that fact wrong.
I told you he's going to keep saying it never happened. Like the video, continue to like the video. Thanks for being here. Reaction clip, fair use.
And you know, the whole story about, of all people, she knocks on Puff's window. 13-year-old girl in Midtown by herself. Just think about that. Think about how illogical that is. Keep going. Again, this is Eminem performing in the streets. No Jumbotron. All the cars barricaded. Her facts don't check out because this never happened. We keep going. So what ends up happening then, and this is important, is her original account in the original complaint says that at 9:30 or 10, she's told to wait there to get a ride to the after party. Okay? That also doesn't work because there's photographs now of Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter at commercial establishments in New York after the VMAs. So this narrative of at 10 o'clock she ends up at this party can't work. They got caught. So they change it in the amended complaint that there's this multiple drop-off and pickup that lands them at this White House that doesn't exist. So as we continue, this is again her account of trying to change the story into this multiple drop-off period to get them at the house to deal with the fact that there's photographic evidence that that's not where the after party was in the first place. And so as this account continues, customize and
like the video. Let's let the commercial go past. Like the video. Thanks for being here. We're right now listening to Jay-Z lawyer try to do a breakdown of what they're alleging happened that day. Thanks for being here. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before where you're watching from. I'm waiting for the commercial to go past. So thanks for listening in. We're listening to Jay-Z break down what the allegations are and what the alleged victim is stating. Jay-Z said it did not happen. Let's continue. Fair use.
Look at the timeline. So there's an old expression that time doesn't lie. Everything else that I'm talking about, these glaring inconsistencies, these are not minor inconsistencies. These are not minor problems with this story. This is utter falsehoods. Time never lies. And so if you look at the time, no matter what, this couldn't have happened. It's not even possible that this happened. And this is so important. So again, now that we know that it's a 5-hour drive in each direction, how she gets to the VMAs, okay, we're going to talk in some detail about this White House and whether or not they could have gotten there. And then again, Doe returns home to Rochester. Okay, and this is very important. Because she returns home, she has to leave the New York area by 1:30 in the morning at the latest. Okay, if you look at any of these White Houses and you look at the closest gas stations that could be to any of these White Houses, you have to leave this White House party by 12:45 in order to get to the gas station at 1:30 to call your father to pick you up to get home to Rochester at 6:30. So remember, she only has till 12:45 for everything that she says to have happened. The VMAs end at after 11. So you're talking about a window of a little more than an hour that this could possibly have happened, even by their own account. And she says, during that little bit more than an hour, not only does she get to the house, not only is she inside mingling with celebrities, she has a drink, she's then sexually assaulted in front of an adult female multiple times, she gets out
allegedly
of that, she fights through it, she leaves the house naked, she gets all the way to the gas station. She had 37 minutes to possibly do this. Okay, even under their account. Okay, and of course, the biggest problem, perhaps of all, is there's photographs putting Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at different places, not in a White House during that 37 minutes. So when I tell you that it's not just that this story is a lie and that it's not true, it's provably, demonstrably false. This never happened. So we talked about this 37 minutes. The earliest, even if we didn't have that.
Like the video.
Remember, this is innocence on top of innocence. Even if we didn't have that, according to her, the earliest they could have gotten to the house is 12:11.
Yeah, many people feel they didn't think this through. Many people feel that the alleged victim should not have did that interview because it does not look good. It doesn't. Like the video. We're listening to Jay-Z's attorney speak out in regards to what the allegations are. Fair use reaction clip. Let's continue.
The reason for that is if the VMAs end and the drive is 20 minutes, the driver has to go there, drop them off, come back, pick her up, bring her back. She can't get there. And again, this is lickety-split. This is as fast as is possible, okay? This is no traffic leaving Radio City in Midtown during an award ceremony. 12:11. She has to leave that white residence by 12:48 in order for her father to pick her up at the gas station. 37 minutes. That's the entire window of opportunity here. So here again is the timeline. Shows the 11:11 VMAs end, the drop-off, the pickup, and the drop-off. Next slide. And again, here we are. You see the 37 minutes. This is the 42 minutes it takes to walk. This is the closest gas station. And this is, remember this is a 13-year-old girl walking who has issues, who is maybe drugged, according to her, who's just been viciously raped multiple times. Who was holding her own clothing, trying to get to a gas station that she had never been before. Okay? No map, no cell phone, no nothing. Straight line, it's 42 minutes. Okay? The story doesn't work, it doesn't check out. Okay? This never happened. Next slide. These are all the things that they claim happened in that 37 minutes. Okay? And again, 37 is giving them every benefit of the doubt as how long this window could be. Every benefit of the doubt. But here's an even bigger problem.
Like the video, like the video.
There are photographs of Mr. Carter and Mr. Combs at commercial establishments during the 37 minutes. They're not there. Even if you try to come up with the fastest possible timeline, I'm talking about no traffic, nobody getting in your way at the door, right to the bar kind of timeline, it still doesn't work. Because they had to leave Radio City, they had to go to the commercial establishments. Mr. Combs is photographed at 2 different commercial establishments with Jennifer Lopez, 2 establishments. They had to go to both of those establishments and get back to the White House. Get back to the White House before she has to leave at 12:30. None of this can work. And in fact, and I think this is very important, you will notice in the photographs that Miss Lopez changes clothing between the 2 events that they go to in New York City. You can see it.
And that's the other thing. J-Lo changes clothes. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. This is Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out in regards to the allegations. He's breaking it down minute by minute, day by day, what transpired. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
One photograph, she's wearing one outfit and another. So she had to be able to, in this 40-minute window, get to multiple events. They're seen drinking, socializing. She has to change outfits, change her hair, all within 40 minutes to get to that White House in time. And you're saying to yourself that that's not possible. You're right, it's not possible. It's because it's never happened.
Hold on, let me let the commercial go past. See, this is why I wish I could have showed you guys what he's saying, but there would have been commercials on it. I didn't want my video flagged, so we're just going to have to listen. But you can go over to Forbes. Forbes has the full video. Let's continue. Like the video, like the video. We only have 15 likes. We have 173 in the building. Please continue to tap the screen to hit the like. Hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. And don't forget to subscribe. Let's continue. The commercial's over.
She kept running until she reached a gas station. A female clerk noticed her, allowed her to use the phone. Plaintiff called her father, admitted that she had lied about her whereabouts.
So why didn't they call the police? Why didn't they call it ambulance? Why, when her father alleged, because her father had to drive 5 hours, right? In that time frame, why didn't anybody do anything in that 5 hours until the dad got there? Alleged. Why didn't the dad take her to the police station or her go to the hospital? That's the biggest thing. When you see somebody in turmoil, chaos, screaming, no clothes, or just shovel clothes, somebody would call the police. So that's the biggest thing. Everybody was saying you would just see somebody in turmoil and you don't call the police. What's really going on? No police, no ambulance, no protective services. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Let's continue. Fair use.
And this is a very small thing. Very small. But remember, when you leave house and you're 13, you have to have a story. You either have to sneak out and not have a lie, or you tell your parents a lie. Sort of 2 options, right? Earlier, she says, well, I didn't tell my parents a lie. I just snuck out the window, right? Here, she says, well, I lied. See? Do you know what that means? That means she's lying within her own story. They can't both be true. And, I said earlier that no witnesses have come forward in basically a quarter of a century.
Good morning, Texas. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 you've been here before, where you're watching from. Good morning, Texas.
Except for one. Now there's one. Her own father. The person who knows her best. And he came forward too. And he said, you know what? This never happened. This never happened. And his attention was drawn to it. I feel like I would remember that. They said, but you've got a lot going on. Maybe you forgot this. You've got a lot going on.
Her dad did say he thinks he will remember that. Good morning, good morning, good morning, Pennsylvania. Thanks for being here, everyone. Like the video as you guys come in, please. Like the video, double tap the screen or hit the thumbs up above the video, below the video. Let's continue.
No, they told him, listen, you've got a lot going on. Try to see if they pressed him, if he stuck to his story. He said, yeah, I have a lot going on, but that's something that would definitely stick in my mind.
It would stick in his
mind.
mind.
It would stick in your mind. You drove 10 hours to pick up your 13-year-old daughter in New York City. It's not something you would forget. It's not something that he did forget because this never happened. And of course, just like the friend that couldn't be there at the beginning, you can't have a witness to something that never happened. When asked, well, what did you say to your father in the car? What did you talk about? Nothing. She says not a word was spoken. There can't be a conversation because this never happened. And so...
Good morning, Hamptons. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe, everyone. I'm back to going live, doing more videos. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification. Let's continue to listen to Jay-Z's lawyer. Thanks for being here, everyone.
You got to ask yourself what's going on here, right? And you all saw that videotape of her being interviewed in the shadowy room. She's holding a teddy bear. She's talking about her issues, her head trauma.
Yep.
She's been through a lot in her life, you can tell. And so who took advantage of this? Why are we here? Why is this story getting created? And I'll tell you who took advantage of this. This lawyer took advantage of this. That's what's going on here. And you can see here, now that this is starting to unravel and the truth is coming out, he's starting to walk away from it. He's saying, oh, sorry, this...
Good morning, Washington, D.C. Good morning, Columbus, Ohio. Good morning, Hamptons. Good morning, UK. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you all.
This case was referred to our firm by another firm, so I didn't really check it out, is basically what he's saying. Right? He brings an accusation like this, attacks a man with the integrity of Mr. Carter, and all he has to say for himself now is, well, I didn't really check on this. I got a referral, trying to make a little bit of money, so we just went live with it. Next. Here is again the timeline that he went live with. In the face of this irrefutable, time doesn't lie evidence, he went live with it. And again, it doesn't work. This 37 minutes, it does not work. It does not work because there's...
Okay, in all my videos, you guys, I said, and I hope that Attorney Busby's office gets police reports, gets hospital records, get testing. I said that from the beginning. Diddy and whomever is innocent to proven guilty, a judge or jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing. I am grateful I said that from day one. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. This is Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out in regards to the allegations.
Photographs. There's photographs. You can find them on the internet of them. They're changing clothes. She's changed clothes. Do you know how long that takes for her to go to 2 events, change clothes, get inside, have drinks, they're socializing. They're not popping into these events. To then get back out into the suburbs somewhere in a house that doesn't exist? It's not possible. Actually not possible. He is for sure.
That's what I said. Your minor child is having an issue. You don't go to the emergency room. You don't file a police report. She's at the gas station for 5 hours, y'all, and nobody called the police. Not the attendant, not the manager, nobody. She didn't decide to call the police. Nobody. Protective services wasn't there till the dad got there. That's 5 hours, y'all. We really have to think outside the box. This is a concern that we want to make sure if there are alleged victims, they are being reported properly. Police reports, hospital records, and testing. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Sure, innocent of this accusation. Next slide.
As a physician, I'm typically
Like the video. Hold on. I gotta let the commercial go past. I apologize for the commercials. I would love to show y'all what's going on, but because of the commercials, that's why I'm having a hard time. Good morning, Harlem. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. That's why Jay-Z spoke up for himself. That's why he said, I'm not doing this. If this happened to this young girl, criminal charges should be filed on that person. It's not me. That's why he said that, y'all. And that's why his lawyer's breaking this down. Let's continue. Fair use. Reaction clip.
Accusation. Next slide. But you know, this lawyer, he doesn't care about things like this. The only other person he's brought a complaint against for just mere association, merely being at a Sean Combs party, he's already been wrong about that one too. He had to change that one. If you look at the next slide, he got the year wrong. He said there was a party in the Hamptons.
Good morning, Iowa.
At the time, didn't check out. 2 claims, neither are checking out. We can keep going. And we have this, individuals calling my office telling me story after story. And, I'm not going to get sidetracked. People think I'm going to start saying, explaining he's a grifter and all these things about him. I'm not here to talk about him more than I need to. But there's people calling the office saying, yeah, they were being pressured to say stuff, to say that they were with Mr. Combs.
See, there's different allegations, too, that we're hearing. People are saying they're being pressured to falsify information. And this is the biggest thing. People got to be careful. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're just doing a deep dive in regards to Jay-Z lawyer speaking out. Good morning, South Carolina. Good morning, Puerto Rico. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for being here. Good morning, Iowa. Let's continue. Fair use.
These are affidavits. They're filed in court. This is what you're dealing with here. Next slide. And so this is who took advantage of the woman in the shadowy video. He gives a press conference. this 1-800 number, and he claims 2 days after posting that press conference, 2 days, that he has 120 fully vetted plaintiffs. 120. Anybody that does this for real, anyone that knows what they're doing, knows to corroborate, to interrogate, and to be sure about even one person takes weeks. One person. You've got to find out if their story makes sense. Do they really get dropped off? Does any of it check out? Is there corroboration? Are there any witnesses? It takes weeks for one. He had 120 in 2 days. When he files these cases, he doesn't even enter his notice of appearance. He just has some other lawyer file and he holds these press conferences. He says, listen, anybody out there, just call the 1-800 number. If you can put yourself anywhere near Sean Combs' party at any point, we can go after the other celebrities there. We can make money together. Just call the 1-800 number. That's all you need to do. And then we'll send a letter to the celebrity. They're not going to want to have this in the public light.
See?
And they're going to be shaken down and they'll send us money. So just call the number. And Mr. Carter said no. He said, it's not going to happen anymore. I'm going to put my foot down. And that's what he did. And I would urge any other celebrity that's being shaken down right now to do the same thing and to stand with truth. None of this ever happened. And what this 1-800 lawyer is doing, he's taking the justice away from this. He's destroying this opportunity and the voices of real victims. And it's got to end. So, are there any questions? Yes.
So now a lot of us was concerned about how Attorney Busby was rolling this out, how he was presenting it, and a lot of us were saying he better have a lot of proof. Hospital records, police reports, and testing. Let's continue. Let's listen to him answer questions within the audience. Thanks for being here. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. If you're just now coming in, we're listening to Jay-Z's attorney speak out in regards to the one allegation that's been brought about Jay-Z, and he said is false. Let's continue to the questions of the audience and press.
I'm assuming if it's not dismissed, like worst case scenario, you guys move forward to try to show that everything you told us. What evidence are you guys submitting other than the accounts that are being over the phone? Like, are any of those people calling you, like emails between them and Busby or text conversations where they're encouraging this stuff?
Yeah, so let me divide that question into two if I can. We expect the case to be dismissed. If it's not, eventually this will all crumble because it can't possibly have happened mathematically. You don't even need witnesses. They don't have any witnesses because this never happened, and you don't need witnesses because the time doesn't work. There's literally photographic evidence that proves that this could not have happened. In terms of what's going to happen to Mr. Busby for this racket and everything else going on, time will tell. But this is how things unravel. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Who is Lex Intelligence, and has your firm ever hired them in connection with Tommy Busby to investigate Tommy Busby as he's alleged?
I don't know that firm, don't know those people, and the answer is no.
So this might just be an extension of the first question, but you said that there were people calling saying how they pressured to say that with Mr. Combs. Can you elaborate on that, please? Are they calling you to say that they've been pressured?
Yeah, there was a witness that came forward that contacted my office and submitted an affidavit in court regarding this that accounted for what occurred on that day, which was they called the Busby firm. They said they had an inquiry. The inquiry had nothing to do with Mr. Combs, Mr. Carter, or any of this. And the people at the Busby firm said, well, why don't we try to push this in the direction of the Combs case? That's a better decision in sum and substance. That's a better way to go here. This individual refused to do that, contacted my office and then an affidavit was submitted to court. Yes.
You mentioned the letters that Busby's been sending out to unnamed celebrities in relation to these Combs lawsuits. What were your interactions on behalf of Mr. Carter before he was renamed in the amended complaint?
Well, after the letter was received, we obviously knew this was completely false and we weren't going to be shaken down. So the efforts were nothing because there was nothing to discuss in any meaningful way.
Do you know who the Jane Doe is, like her actual identity? Has there been research into that on your end?
Yeah, because it's a fair question. Because she's been blacked out in the video and because a court has not unmasked her in court, I'm not going to get into her identity. You will notice that I did not get into some of her issues. I don't want to. It's really sad
right.
in many respects, and I don't want to get into that. So I'm not going to unmask her here today.
Like the video. We're listening to Jay-Z's lawyer answer questions with the press and paparazzi. Well, press. Like the video. We're only at 32 likes, you guys. Please like the video and please subscribe. With the like, all you have to do is double tap the screen. If you're watching from a phone, all you have to do is double tap the screen to hit the like. If you're watching from a tablet, all you have to do is double tap the screen to hit the like. Let's get the likes up. The likes should match the views. We're only at 33 likes. Let's get the likes to 100, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you.
Has the accuser tried
Let's
to
continue.
Mr. Carter before, or any of the plaintiffs can, or anyone?
Not to my knowledge.
Hold on. And I might rewind that question because I couldn't even hear it. Let's let the commercial go past. Thanks for being here, everyone. Continue to hit the like button. Thank you guys for hitting the like button. I see the likes are going up. Press 3 if you know where you're watching from. Hello, Ireland. Welcome. Okay, let me rewind this a little bit from that question.
No, and I would hope not after what's going on here.
Indicated that there was a second alleged victim. Has he given
Hold on, let me rewind it some more.
Yes.
You mentioned the letters that BuzzFeed's been sending out to unnamed celebrities in relation to these causeless lawsuits. What were your interactions on behalf of Mr. Carter before he was renamed in the amended complaint?
Good morning, Australia.
Well, after the letter was received, we obviously knew this was completely false and we weren't going to be shaken down. So the efforts were nothing because there was nothing to discuss in any meaningful way.
Hello,
Do you know
Ireland.
who Jane Doe is, like her actual identity? Has there been research into that on your end?
Yeah, because it's a fair question. Because she's been blacked out in the video and because a court has not unmasked her in court, I'm not going to get into her identity. You will notice that I did not get into some of her issues. I don't want to. It's really sad in many respects, and I don't want to get into that. So I'm not going to unmask her here today.
Good morning,
Has
Switzerland.
the accuser tried to reach out to Mr. Carter before, or any of his camp, or anyone?
Hello,
Not to my
Florida.
knowledge. Yes.
BuzzFeed indicated that there was a second alleged victim. Has he given any notice that he's
Good morning, Germany. Good morning, Florida. See, you got to remember there's certain situations that's going on here. They were stating that there was a female. The female's never been named. The celebrity female, that's a concern. Good morning, SA. And he's basically saying he doesn't want to talk about the young victim that's being alleged. He doesn't want to talk about her health concerns. He mainly wants to focus on Jay-Z, and I think he should. Good morning, Alabama. Let's continue. Good morning, Germany. Thanks for being here, everyone. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. We're at 49 likes. We have about 230 something in the building. The likes should match the views. Continue to hit the like button. If you already did hit the like button, thank you. If you already subscribed, thank you. If you did not subscribe, please subscribe to the page. We're trying to get to 34K. Thank you for being here. Let's continue.
considered that as well?
No, and I would hope not after what's going on here. Yes.
You mentioned in your recent filing on this docket that you were intending to file a motion to dismiss. What's the timeline on that? Are you working with it?
Yeah, so we did file a motion to dismiss the day after this was filed.
Right.
The Rule 11 letter, which basically says that the lawyer is not allowed to do this. You're not allowed to not vet a claim and file a false claim in court.
Good morning, Birmingham.
The way that works, and
Good
it's
morning,
a little technical,
Switzerland.
is that the court has to allow you to file faster than you should otherwise.
Sweden.
be allowed
Good
to
morning,
file.
Sweden.
So we are hopeful that the court will respond today, that we will file that. If not, there are other things that we're going to do to bring the truth to light. Are there any other questions? Yes.
Are there any witnesses who will be corroborating Mr. Carter's testimony that he was not there that night? Or is that sort of what you're hinting at, that if necessary, you will provide those people?
Yeah, I mean, it's like asking to corroborate something that never happened. I mean, there are dozens and dozens of people that are going to say there was no party at the White House, that put all of these celebrities where they're already put in photographs in different places, not at the White House. Remember, according to her, all three of these people, I mean, you all have seen the photographs. I mean, on the internet, I just showed you some. All three of these people would have had to have been at this White House together, alone in a room. Let's think about that. Alone in a room with this 13-year-old girl at exactly the time that they're in commercial establishments. So there's no proof better than time. But of course, there are going to be people that are going to say that they were all out that night and nowhere near a White House.
So that's the other thing that people were saying. If the driver alleged took her there, how did Diddy or Jay-Z get where they were going if the driver took her somewhere? They did talk about that too. And I was like, well, yeah, nobody asked that. If the driver drove her, he's the driver to take him from the event. She would have almost allegedly said she was in the vehicle with Diddy or Jay-Z, right? But instead, she was saying she was drove her there. So you're telling me you left your client at the award show? That's the thing. Yeah. Good morning, Switzerland. Sorry, I did it again. Good morning, Sweden. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, New York. Like the video, like the video. Let's continue. This is Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out in regards to the alleged victim. Thanks for being here, everyone.
And they
Fair
went to
use.
after party commercial establishment. This is all fantasy.
If this case is dismissed after that, you guys decided that.
Yeah, I hope this does not make other victims fearful. I'm hoping that Attorney Busby's office will make sure that there's evidence and receipts attached to what happened to those people that day, whether it's the NDA, if they got a copy of it, whether a friend took a picture, whether they have a hospital record, that there was some concerns in regards to the body, whether there's a police report. I think there has to be proof. People just can't make comments, and we want the correct alleged victims to come up and speak up, because some are fearful of speaking up and coming out. That's the concern. We want the proper victims, if there are any, in regards to any situations to speak up. I can't confirm or deny what happened in regards to this night, but Jay-Z's lawyer's trying to say it didn't happen. He kept saying that. Y'all notice that? He said it several times. It is Jay-Z's lawyer's responsibility to make the story try and go away. So a lot of people are saying, why did Attorney Busby let this young girl, well, she's a woman, sorry, why did he allow this woman to do this interview? And why didn't they prepare her for better questions? Why didn't they prepare her in a better light? Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's continue. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
Follow anything, and they should have information also.
This issue with a lawyer taking advantage of the situation is going to be dealt with, I can assure you. And I think sort of stay tuned. I think the first thing today was to make sure that everybody understands. This is not an account of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false. And then we'll move forward from there. Yes.
What is Mr. Carter's account of that night? Does he say he was at multiple locations, just that nightclub, the Lotus nightclub that he was photographed at?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into sort of privileged communications and talk too much about that, but I will say that he was not at any house or any location. They were in New York City. They were at commercial establishments with lots of people around. This is obviously completely false.
How's Mr. Carter feeling?
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed.
Okay, so now he's about to talk about how Jay-Z's feeling. And then he's also talking about Jay-Z and Diddy's friendship, that they were business partners and they went to all-star games together. No, Jay-Z and Diddy hung out for years. Jay-Z, Diddy, and Kanye. Kanye separated himself away from them about a while ago. But the biggest thing is, that's the one part that people were like, Jay-Z and Diddy's been hanging out for years. In the studio together, making music together, on stage together. Like the video. Thanks for being here. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Oh, so I don't know. They're saying somebody's annoying. Be kind, everyone, in the comments. Be kind in the comments. Thanks for being here. Let's continue. Don't forget to subscribe. There's about 317 in the building. If I can get 300 people to please subscribe and thank you. Let's continue to hit the like button, you guys. We only have 54 likes. Let's continue to hit the like button. Hello, Detroit. What up, though? Did you guys win Sunday? Thanks for being here. I hope you guys have a great season. Let's continue. Fair use, reaction clip.
Do this. We make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset. They should be upset.
Is your firm investigating Busby talking to people around him as he's alleged in some of his legal suit against Sway Manual?
Yeah, that suit went nowhere, as you saw. And what happens when...
Let me go back a little bit.
Today was to make sure that everybody understands. This is not an account of inconsistencies. I wanted everybody to understand that this never happened. This is completely false. And then we'll move forward from there. Yes.
What is Mr. Carter's account of that night? Does he say he was at multiple locations, just that nightclub, the Lotus nightclub that he was photographed at?
Yeah, so I'm not going to get into sort of privileged communications and talk too much about that, but I will say that he was not at any house or any location. They were in New York City. They were at commercial establishments with lots of people around. This is obviously completely false.
How's Mr. Carter feeling?
He's upset. He's upset that somebody would be allowed to do this. We make a mockery of the system like this. He's upset that this distracts and dissuades real victims from coming forward. He's upset that his kids and his family have to deal with this. He's upset. They should be upset.
Is your firm investigating Busby talking to people around him as he's alleged in some of his legal suit against Sway Manual?
Yeah, that suit went nowhere, as you saw. And what happens when people bring frivolous cases and run rackets like this is, of course, we're asking questions. I've had people contacting my office telling me chapter and verse about him. So we don't shut off the phone lines. I'm listening because I'm trying to figure out how this is allowed to proceed like this. Yes.
He posted a photo on his Instagram of 3 men at a door of his client, suggesting that investigators came and said that they would pay $1,000 for plaintiffs to file a suit against him. I mean, do you have any connection to those men that he photographed? Do those men have any connection to Quinn Emanuel?
Zero. I don't know whether it's completely false or not, but zero connection to those people. No idea what that is. Don't know whether he made it up out of whole cloth. Don't know if he's trying to distract from what he's under now. But no, there's no truth to that. Anything else?
Hold on, let the commercial go past. Like the video, you guys. We only have 60 likes. We have about 270 in the building. If I can please get 270 to subscribe to the page, and thank you. If you already subscribed, thank you. Let's continue. The commercial's over.
Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate him with them, he didn't really in his statement specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally.
Thanks for subscribing.
Just like in all professions, people know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work.
So he's trying to separate the two. And everybody's like, hold up. They've been cool. Jay-Z, Diddy, Kanye West, John Legend, Pharrell. They've been hanging out. You got to remember, they've had the billionaires luncheon. They didn't have one this year, though. Let's continue. This is what his lawyer is saying, that they're business friends and they go to all-star games.
That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction.
They would pay $1,000 for plaintiffs to file a suit against him. I mean, do you have any connection to those men that he photographed? Do those men have any connection to Quinn Emanuel?
Zero. Okay, I don't know whether it's completely false or not, but zero connection to those people. No idea what that is. Don't know whether he made it up out of whole cloth. Don't know if he's trying to distract from what he's under now. But no, there's no truth to that. Anything else?
Okay, he's about to repeat it.
Right. Will Mr. Carter say anything more specifically about Mr. Combs? He didn't really address him in his statement, but anything since outlets and internet speculation have tried to affiliate him with them, he didn't really in his statement specifically say anything about any of the allegations.
I mean, Mr. Carter has nothing to do with Mr. Combs' case or Mr. Combs. They knew each other professionally for a number of years, just like in all professions. People know each other. At the music awards, they support each other. If you go to the NBA All-Star game, they support each other. That's just how professions work. There is no closer association between any of them. That's also a matter of fiction. That's all that there is. He doesn't know anything about the charges or allegations against him. He has nothing to do with that case. And there's nothing more to say. Yes.
In the original filing before, it was immediately after there was a second woman celebrity, I think she was in the room. That woman celebrity, whoever it is, has there been any other people that may have been with Mr. Carter or?
They're saying Kanye was kicked out of the club. They're asking about the woman celebrity. Let's listen. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Thanks for subbing if you've already subbed. There's about 295 in the building. Please subscribe to the page. We're trying to get to 34K. Let's continue. This is Jay-Z's lawyer speaking out on behalf of Jay-Z. Let's continue.
Even stuff that night, but I reached out to you guys just wanting to know what is happening, just so they can prepare for kind of even a fight back like JC is right now.
Well, we know other celebrities have received letters, and we've spoken to other celebrities that were there that night that say this is what they know about this. This makes no sense. Couldn't have happened because they were all at a commercial establishment. So I hope that answers your question. Yes.
Was there a specific amount of money or something specific that was demanded of Mr. Carter in this demand letter that was sent to you before the complaint was filed?
There isn't a specific number.
People were wondering if there was a specific number that they were asking for. He said there's no specific number. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
That has been demanded.
Did they specifically ask for money in the demand letter?
Yeah. So I've been asked this question before. People like this, they don't send demand letters out to not get money. That's all they want. Okay. This is not for truth and justice. This is for money. So the request was to sit down and talk about a way to resolve this matter, and we all know what that means. Yes.
Do you have any plans to release the demand letter?
Not as I stand here today.
She asked, do he has any plans to release the demand letter of what he received from Attorney Busby? I know some of the questions you can't hear. That's why I'm repeating it. And he's saying he doesn't think that he'll release the demand letter of what he received from Attorney Busby's office. Let's continue.
I'm more concerned with making sure that everybody knows this didn't happen. I know there's a lot of questions about this lawyer and who's after him and how much wrong has he done and these questions, and I totally understand that and respect those questions, but we'll turn to that later. Anything else? Okay. Thank you all very much for your time.
Okay, so I think with anything, I thank everyone. I think with anything, everybody's kind of like, the only thing that they're concerned about is that he's stating that Diddy and Jay-Z did not hang out. So we're going to listen to the different, hold on, let me go back. We're going to listen to Stephen A. Smith talk about Jay-Z. We're going to talk about law crime. So let's get to that. Hold on one second. Many people have been sticking up for Jay-Z, and they did from the beginning. Like the video as you guys come in.
Analyst Ryan Smith, who's been on joining me to discuss the legal facts of the case, is ABC and ESPN legal analyst Ryan Smith, who's been on here before talking about the B. Diddy case. He always edifies us, always appreciate his time. What's up, big time? How are you?
What's going on, Stephen A? I'm good. How you doing?
I had to have you on because last time you were on, everybody wanted to see that one. So I had to have you back on. Let's get right to it. According to the reports, Jay-Z became embroiled in a Puffy case after Busby sent the letter back last month that alleged Jay-Z raped and drugged a 13-year-old girl with Combs at the 2000 BMA after party. My question to you was this. For those that don't know, he received a demand letter, whatever. What's a demand letter? Explain what that is.
A demand letter is essentially a letter a lawyer is going to send to ask somebody to take a certain action. Here, the demand letter sent by Tony Busby, the lawyer on behalf of the Jane Doe in this case, was, hey, let's get together and have a mediation over a claim that my client has made that you assaulted her. Now, it seems once you hear that, you're alarmed, right? If you get that kind of letter. Tony Busby requested mediation, a private mediation, to try to go through this. But the reason why Jay-Z reacted so strongly is it's kind of like, wait a second, this isn't a demand letter to pay a fine. This is a demand letter asking for some sort of legal action, asking for some sort of civil discourse about.
We're going to listen to the breakdown, fair use reaction clip. And we just heard Jay-Z lawyer stating he's not going to release the demand letter. His biggest thing is clearing Jay-Z's name. Let's continue. Of the allegations. Let's continue. Fair use. Let's continue to get the likes up, you guys. We've got about 358 in the building. Please subscribe to the page. Please turn on the notification. Continue to hit the like button. All you have to do is double tap the screen. If you've already double tapped the screen, thank you. Continue to double tap the screen. It's easy. If you're watching from phone, double tap the screen. If you're watching from a tablet, you can double tap the screen. If you're watching from a TV, you're going to have to scroll up to hit the thumbs up. To hit the like button is free. Thanks for tuning in. Let's continue.
A potential sexual assault. So for Jay-Z, this demand letter would have, if he said yes, put him in mediation and in his mind opened him up for a discussion about whether or not he owes damages for something he says he didn't do. So a demand letter is fairly common for lawyers to send to each other asking for a certain particular legal action. But in this case, because of the explosive natures of the claims, you can understand why Jay-Z went off on Tony Busby.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's team labeled this an extortion attempt. How is that hyperbole? Is that excessive? Is that on point? How would you qualify or classify such a label, an extortion attempt by Busby?
Stephen A., it depends on your perspective, right? So if you're Tony Busby, you have a client, and that's the lawyer for this Jane Doe who's accusing Jay-Z of raping her. She was 13 at this after party. If you're Tony Busby, your client has made this claim. You want to try to settle it in a civil suit. So essentially, you're looking for money damages. So for you, it's reaching out saying, hey, let's settle this thing. You've been named and it's something I've filed, but I've kept that private. I want to have a discussion in mediation to sort this out. We can sort it out that way. The reason why Jay-Z would see it as extortion is you got to start from the perspective from Jay-Z of, I didn't do this. So if you get a letter like that and you didn't do this, why would I do any sort of legal procedure? But when you think about the way Jay-Z's looking at it, it's okay, I haven't been named in something. And if I don't do this mediation, what happens then? I'm named, I'm subject to public scrutiny. Now everybody believes that I did this thing that I said I didn't do, which, as you and I know, Stephen A., when somebody's name is put out there for a crime, a lot of times people believe it before they find out the facts. So for Jay-Z, it appears to be an extortion attempt because he's saying, look, you're just trying to do this to get me for money. If I don't come to mediation, then you're going to expose me, which in a sense did happen. His name got out there. And now, in order to not do that, I've got to pay you money and go through this mediation. So from his perspective, it's an extortion attempt because if he doesn't cooperate with the mediation, then his name's out there unless he pays money in some way. That's why they qualify it as extortion.
His response was swift, no question about that. In a strongly worded statement, he categorically denied any truth to these allegations that have been levied against him and said he wanted to give Busby one red penny, quote unquote, and challenged Busby to file a criminal lawsuit rather than a civil one. What are we to make of that point that Jay-Z made? Because it resonated with me, Ryan, from the standpoint that he was saying, listen, if this is a crime that happened and this is so heinous, where's the criminal charges? Bring it on. That's basically was what Jay-Z was saying.
Yeah, Stephen A., it's like he's saying, hey, look, I'm innocent, so bring it all at me. If you think it's that, if you think I committed a crime.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Let's continue.
File a criminal charge. A couple things there. First, Tony Busby said in response to that, hey, I'm considering that. It's up to my client. I'm going to leave that to her. There's a lot of different complications in this. The first thing is somebody might be able to file a criminal complaint in this case, or let's say Tony Busby could in some ways, but it's up to prosecutors to prosecute that case. So it's not as if you just go in and say, hey, I'm going to file a criminal charge against you. Not how it works. Prosecutor would have to be able to take up the case. The other thing is, in a case like this all happened all the way back in 2000, right? So this is over 20 years ago. And if a prosecutor is looking at a case like this, they're looking at what's the evidence like? Who are the witnesses? This is one of the reasons why Jay-Z is actually requesting right now in a filing that the name be revealed of the Jane Doe here. He's trying to figure out, okay, if you've made this claim, let's hear some witnesses. Let's try to see the evidence here. Let me try to get a sense of what my case would be here. But the real difficult part of this is the statute of limitations for first degree rape in New York State. If this is a New York State case, that right now doesn't have a statute of limitations. Back then, depending on the charge, there could be a statute of limitations. So it gets a little complicated there. But if this is a first-degree forcible rape kind of case that Tony Busby seems to be saying it is here, at least in these filings, charges could be a possibility. But filing a criminal complaint is different from prosecutors taking up that case and making a criminal charge happen if the allegations are true.
The alleged victim was 13 at the time, which means she's now grown. So how likely is it that she will be named?
It's a tough scenario. They're asking the judge to talk about it. We can't know for sure. There's a couple different reasons. First, you name a client, you name a Jane Doe in a case of this. The argument is generally this. You weigh the public need to have the information and the defendant's right in some ways to have the information with the needs of the particular Jane Doe involved in here. What do I mean by that? Well, there's another side of this. If you look at it from the Jane Doe's perspective of, is there the possibility for retribution? What would happen to that person if their name was revealed? That's one thing a judge would weigh. On Jay-Z's side, they're going to weigh the public interest of it. Is there something that requires this to be out there? Does it in some way help the defendant build their case? So right now, I look at a case like this and I say it's an unknown because you just don't know how a judge is going to decide in this case. And we also, here's the big thing, Stephen A., we don't know the evidence and the details here. What we have right now is a claim from someone from over 20 years ago that this happened. Not saying it's not true. Not saying the allegations aren't to be believed. Just saying it's hard to know what's happening here until you have more evidence and more information out there.
But he has a right to know who she is. Now, it might not be revealed to the public.
Yeah, I have to be careful with that's why I say ... Like the video. Thanks for being here. My page is a little smaller, so I have to be cautious. That's why I say ... Thanks for being here. Like the video. There's about 270. Please subscribe to the page. Let's continue. Fair use. Let's get the likes up. Please double tap the screen. If you're watching from a phone, double tap the screen. If you're watching from a tablet, double tap the screen. The like button is above the video, below the video. Thanks for being here, everyone.
But
reaction clip.
Accused,
let's continue.
He has a right to know who he is being accused by. If not now, then obviously, definitely at some point, that is expected to be the case, right?
And definitely that will happen eventually. And you look at a case like this, Stephen A., what becomes really interesting is this is a civil case. So I mentioned before, that's for money damages. But if this goes ahead as a civil case, so right now Jay-Z is asking that it be thrown out. Either reveal the name or throw it out. If they don't throw it out and it goes forward, so if it's not dismissed, then you have things like depositions that happen. In those depositions, Jay-Z is interviewed, the accuser, the person who's accusing him of the crime is interviewed. And that's where things get very interesting. See, I look at a case like this, and I think back to what we saw in the P. Diddy case, the allegations that came out there. And I look back to what happened in that case. Allegations, investigators started interviewing people, started talking about different things, and eventually RICO charges were filed. Not saying Jay-Z is related to that in any way.
Right.
But one thing I think Jay-Z has got to be concerned about is if this case goes forward, those depositions. He's got to answer all kinds of questions under oath. If you lie in depositions, you face the threat of perjury, which is a criminal offense. So in those instances, what becomes interesting is what's revealed there. This is one of the reasons why he has a criminal lawyer. Not because we're saying, hey, he did something wrong, but you get a criminal lawyer in a civil case like this because of what could happen, of where an investigation could lead. You process a civil case, you never know if authorities might be looking at that in some way, investigating that in some way to see if there's some other charge, to see if there's some charge that might need to be brought. So that's where this thing gets very complicated. Yes, at some point he will learn the identity, but the question is once he learns that identity and those depositions happen, what happens next?
Could you illustrate? Because one of the things that I've been making a point of is that,
like the video. Yes, I have to stop and play it as well. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Don't forget to subscribe.
I don't know what happened, and I'm certainly not going to pretend to know what happened. I've known him for 25 years, so I've been on the record saying I can't believe that the person that I've known for 25 years would be capable of such a thing. I don't believe it, but that's as far as Anybody, any human being, as far as I'm concerned, can go. To go any further than that would be utterly irresponsible. But what I want to also do is highlight the difference right now. People are acting like, to me, when you bring up P. Diddy, people bring up him and they bring up P. Diddy in the same sentence for obvious reasons. And I'm like, well, Homeland Security showed up to P. Diddy's properties in Miami and Los Angeles. Ultimately, an arrest was forthcoming, which he knew, which is why he came to New York. And ultimately, he was arrested and he has been incarcerated and denied bail, not one, not two, but 3 different times.
I've been using this on Makeup Day.
Like the video. Let's let the commercial go past. Let's continue to get the likes up. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's let the commercial go past. Like the video. If you've already subscribed, thank you. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the page and turn on your notification bell. Let's continue. Thanks for being here, everyone. Reaction clip.
Here. Should Jay-Z
Fair
be
use.
fearful that it could be the case? Is this the kind of thing that we're looking at down the line potentially?
I'm glad you asked that question because I want to distinguish between what we're seeing right now, Stephen A., with the Jay-Z situation and what we saw in the Diddy situation. There, as you mentioned, raid on his home, lengthy investigation, going at even the charges, talking about a criminal enterprise, his companies and all that, not only involved in making records, but having this criminal enterprise with these freak-offs. I would not connect. I'd be loath right now to connect the P. Diddy case with Jay-Z. And for one really big reason, and then other smaller reasons.
Sorry.
The big reason is, in the Diddy Combs case, they're arguing that he set up this entire criminal enterprise. And part of this enterprise were these freak-offs. That's not being suggested in the Jay-Z case. The Jay-Z case is suggesting, at least the accusation is, he was at this party that P. Diddy was throwing, and that there was a sexual assault that occurred, and that Jay-Z committed it. Completely different circumstances, completely different situation. Do I know if it could go there and something could happen? We don't know at this point, as you said. We don't know enough information about that right now. But that's a big difference. The other difference is here, you talked about should he be fearful. I would say there has to be concern. And the reason there has to be concern is, and we talked about this when we talked about the Diddy case, we talked about the idea that there were all these people involved. Even in the Jane Doe's case with Jay-Z, she claims that she runs out and nobody did anything. One of the things U.S. attorneys said when they were doing the Diddy case was, when they made that big announcement, P. Diddy has been arrested, they made the point of, our investigation is ongoing. They are not stopping. That was not the end of it. So why I think Jay-Z should be concerned, he's saying he didn't do anything, and on its face, let's assume that's the case. Why he should be concerned is being involved in the orbit that is P. Diddy, being involved in the orbit of this situation, being involved in the orbit of the claims that Jane Doe made, piques the attention of investigators.
That's true. That's what everybody's saying. In the orbit, Diddy's in jail, innocent until proven guilty. A judge or jury is going to have to find out if there's any wrongdoing on Diddy's side. But with them being cool and friends, that's what people are saying. Will this alleged place him in certain situations? We haven't even heard about the full indictment regarding Diddy. We haven't even fully heard about the indictment. We haven't heard about the people that's been subpoenaed. When the court case happens in May, we're going to see the transcripts. We're going to find out who's been subpoenaed, who's going to take the stand. We're going to find out a lot. So that's what people are saying. They're concerned for Jay-Z because he's friends with Diddy and Diddy's in jail. Diddy liked to keep his friends close. Like the video. Please subscribe to the page. There's about 289 in the building. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. I like this breakdown because it's also telling us what people are talking about, what they're concerned about. Thanks for being here, everyone.
This is just how investigators think. When they file a claim, when they see a claim like P. Diddy, and as expansive as that was, and they think about all the people that might have been involved or seen something or been there, they're trained to look at this and say, who else might have been involved? Are there any other cases out there? So when they see this, if I'm his lawyer, I'm
Welcome,
thinking,
Vegas.
okay, I've got to at least make sure he's not tied into that in any way. And I've got to at least expect investigators to maybe look at, keep an eye on, and maybe ask questions about whether there's any intersection in this case.
Welcome, West Virginia, Eastern Kentucky. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Don't forget to subscribe, you guys. We're trying to hit 34K. Thanks for being here. Let's continue.
To that case. See, it's an interesting difference there because it's not to say, oh, there's going to be a concern that he'll be involved in the Diddy criminal enterprise.
I'm good.
It's more a concern of investigators follow the trail of whatever
SC,
evidence
I'm
they
good.
find, and whatever they hear and whatever they see. And what you have to wonder about and worry about, I think, be concerned about if you're Jay-Z, is are investigators eventually going to ask questions in some way of me because of this case that's been filed against me?
Be kind in the comments. Nobody has time for weird stuff. Be kind in the comments, you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting the channel. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip. These are things that people are asking and wondering.
As you well know, Rock Nation has a partnership deal with the National Football League to produce a Super Bowl halftime show. And so naturally, when these allegations got aimed at Jay-Z, a lot of people were waiting to hear from the National Football League to see what it was going to do.
Yes, they were.
And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell.
The NFL said they're standing by Jay-Z. Were you guys surprised about that? Hello, Texas. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for being here, everyone. Were you surprised that the NFL is sticking by Jay-Z? Like the video, like the video.
Had this to say this week when asked about the suit, quote, "We are aware of the civil allegations." And Jay-Z's really strong response to that. We know obviously that litigation is happening, but from our standpoint, our relationship is not changing with them, including our preparations for the next Super Bowl, end quote. Number one,
good morning,
from a legal
Australia.
Perspective, how common of a position was that to receive from an entity like the NFL? And number two, what kind of effect, if any at all, do you think will have on this ongoing situation?
So number one, I'll admit, Stephen A., I was surprised to see that, only because my sense usually when you talk about organizations like the NFL and claims against partners who have been accused.
Do you think that the NFL should end the contract because of the alleged allegations? Many people were surprised. Many people were surprised. You know, there's been different people speaking out. I can't confirm or deny. A judge jury is going to have to decide if there's any wrongdoing on Diddy and Jay-Z's side. You know, they're innocent until proven guilty. We're just bringing you the information. Good morning, Vegas. Good morning. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. I did Australia. Welcome, welcome, you guys. Welcome, Vegas. Thanks for being here. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Used of really heinous situations is basically no comment, or we're waiting to see what happens with the evidence. That would be the first thought. Perhaps there was some sort of discussion that happened after these claims surfaced, and Roger Goodell was made to feel that, hey, there's nothing to see here. This is something that's going to go away. So maybe that was why they felt comfortable making that response, saying we're going to stand by Jay-Z and keep working with Roger.
Oh, Eric, I just saw your comment. I didn't think about that. Thanks for that comment, Eric. Thank you. Like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone.
Nation. But I got to say, I was surprised. Just because usually we're used to seeing the NFL say, hey, if there's anything, even a semblance of something that could tarnish our name and our brand in any way, we're going to at least say,
let's see. Congratulations, sis, on your way to 35K. Thank you. Yeah, we're almost at 34K. That's what we're trying to get to. You guys, 2 months ago, my page had 3,000 subscribers. I have some videos that have millions of views. 1.4 million. Another video, 1 million. I've been, you know, having a good time with my boo babe. We've been enjoying ourselves, but I'm back and we still having a good time. But I've been trying to upload more videos for you guys. So thanks for being here. Hello, Chicago. Hello, Chicago. Yeah, I mean, first it was Kanye and his concerns. Look how he treats his wife. Look how he dresses his wife. So, you know, Jay-Z's not going to take this sitting down. He has to speak up. And we see why he's speaking up. If you're just now coming in, Jay-Z's lawyer spoke within the first 50 minutes of the video. Go back and check out what Jay-Z lawyer had to say. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Let's wait and see what happens here. We're going to at least say no comment. We'll see as it comes. We're just following whatever happens. Tell me your second question again.
I said, how will this affect it? How do you think this will affect the NFL's position with Jay-Z at this particular moment in time affect things moving forward, whether it be their relationship with him or this overall case?
Right.
I think it's interesting. When I look at this, will the NFL's relationship with him affect the processing of the case? I don't think it will affect what authorities do or what a judge might do. I think what becomes interesting in all of this is how does this case process based on that relationship he has with the NFL and based on what Jay-Z does and has. One thing we know about Jay-Z is he has a deep pocket. So, and that was part of what he brought up here. Hey, just because I have money doesn't mean you can come at me for something that I'm saying I'm innocent for. But if you think about where maybe the Jane Doe's lawyer is coming from, if you think about it of, hey, you've got finances, you did something, I'm coming after you, maybe that makes him continue to press the case. Maybe that makes him continue to say, hey, I'm not giving up on this, not just for money, but more from the sense of, especially when you talk about Tony Busby, more from the sense of this is a person who says, hey, I'm fighting on behalf of the unknowns against the superstars who think they can do things and just get away.
Do you think Attorney Busby's going to do things differently now? He's going to make sure, he should have made sure those T's are crossed and those I's are dotted. He should have solid proof and receipts of what these alleged victims went through. So some people are side-eyeing Attorney Busby because you got to remember he has 100 alleged 20 cases that he's trying to file. Like the video, press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. There's about 255 in the building. If I can please get 255 to please subscribe. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Make sure you also turn on your notification bell. Let's continue.
With it. I'm the person who's going to bring those people to justice.
Reaction clip.
So the more that Jay-Z has people stand by him, obviously for him, that's a good thing. That bolsters his claim of, hey, I've done nothing wrong in the court of public opinion. But I think for Jane Doe and her attorney, the sense is, hey, this is a person, in our opinion, because we believe the allegations are true, this is a person.
I mean, if you've smoked, you
Hold on.
know.
Let's let the commercial go past. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. There's about 200 in the building. If I can please get 200 people to please subscribe, and thank you. If you already subscribed, thank you. Let's continue. Okay, the commercial's gone past. Let's continue.
And won't be held accountable, and we're not going to stop until there's accountability. I tell you, this is a complicated case where we got to wait for a lot of information to come out.
It's 24 years after the fact. A lot of people have made noise about that. Doesn't mean anything because we know how often women have been victimized and how they've been reluctant to come forward. The laws have changed. Society has changed. Our heightened level of sensitivity has really kicked up as well. Even in these times where I think that people are far more understanding and men have no choice but to be far more receptive to these things that women have been telling us that they have been enduring and experiencing for quite a long time. What are we to make of it coming to light 24 years later, these allegations?
That they mean more to the public and to all of us now. And that's not to say they didn't mean anything before. That's to say, you can even see it in the law, Stephen A. Based on how we talked earlier about whether or not a case could be brought a criminal complaint. When you talk about that, years ago, there was a statute of limitation for certain degrees of rape that was only 5 years. Those laws have been changed significantly. Now there's much more, but that's part of the problem of this case. It happened so long ago, depending on if prosecutors took up a case, it could affect whether or not the statute of limitations applies. But even in the law is what I'm saying. Even in the law, our way of viewing cases like this has changed drastically. But in the public, I think is where it really matters, Stephen A. We look at cases like this and we say people who are in power, who did bad things to others, have to.
Cat Williams spoke out. What was done in the dark will come to the light in 2024. We are going to be shocked for 2025. Some of your favorites have made bad decisions and it's going to come out. Sad to say, but true. We can't confirm or deny if it's Diddy or Jay-Z because like I said, Diddy and Jay-Z's innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. And a judge or jury is going to have to find out if Diddy or Jay-Z did anything wrong. But what's going to happen, some of these other celebrities are going to be, if they've done some things that's been wrong, we're going to have to pay attention, y'all. There's a lot going on. And 2024 has been interesting. Let's continue.
I want to say it again. That is not me saying anything about Jay-Z. What that's saying is, when you talk about authorities, there is not some sense of, hey, this happened 24 years ago, not a lot of evidence, nothing to see here, we're just going to move on and prosecute cases from today. There is a real sense on behalf of law enforcement and authorities and courts and everyone to say, hey, these cases don't go away because they're old, if the statute of limitations doesn't apply and they can be heard. And when you talk about investigations, this is what I thought was so interesting about the Diddy case, and I think resonates throughout the entertainment industry. I think investigators are now looking at cases like this, the Diddy case and beyond, and saying, when we get a sense of wrongdoing, we are not letting that go. We are not just letting that pass by and keeping it.
Many people are upset that it took so long in regards to the Diddy situation, though. Many people are upset that it took so long. Many people. Like the video. Thanks, Amanda. Yeah, some of these people that have a lot of money, they think they could do whatever, say whatever, and get away with it. Now, a lot of these celebrities are taking a seat back. Remember how Bow Wow was like, there's no parties. No, Bow Wow, there's no parties because there's different allegations. People don't want to get caught up in different situations right now. These civil lawsuits are being filed. You know, we still got to hear about what's going on in regards to Diddy's racketeering case. Who's a part of that alleged case? Let's continue.
Out for it. And will there be enough evidence? No, we're going to move on. We are going to doggedly pursue something where we have a good faith belief that there is a crime. And it doesn't matter if it's old. And it doesn't matter if it might not fit in the particular context of what you might think the crime might be on its face. We're going to look deeper, see if there's some enterprise here, see if there's something else going on. Stephen A., I can't even tell you, I haven't been a lawyer for well over 2 decades. It is a massive, massive shift in the way we look at survivors of sexual assault. Massive. Because before, I think people thought, hey, if I don't say something quickly, if I don't do something quickly, I don't have a chance. And even if I do, my name's going to be dragged through the mud. I'm going to be tortured through this entire process. Even then, I might not get justice. Now, we live in a different world. Now, these cases are being heard. There is a sense on behalf of law enforcement, judges, others, to say, let's hear the evidence. Let's see what's here. Let's try to figure out these cases. And in a sense, we are way more as a society, both in the courts and in public opinion, to say people who make claims are to be believed. Let us hear it. Let us figure it out. And let us hear the full story.
Yep.
Right.
Wow. A lot going on, y'all. A lot of allegations. Like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here. Next clip. Hold on. Like the video, like the video. We're going to only listen to a little bit of this. Like the video. We just listened to Stephen A. and a lawyer speak out. Prior to that, we listened to Jay-Z's lawyer speak out. That was from Forbes. We're just trying to give credit where the video's coming from.
Back at a woman accusing him of rape and her lawyer after she grants an interview and acknowledges inconsistencies in her story. I'll tell you.
And many people have been speaking about those inconsistencies as well. Like the video, like the video.
About Sean Carter's latest legal move and what Sean Diddy Combs has to say about the woman's sit-down with a reporter. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Jay-Z's lawyer is doing everything he can to get this lawsuit accusing the rapper of rape thrown out. A 38-year-old woman filed the suit against Jay-Z and Sean Combs back in October. And at first, Jay-Z wasn't named in the suit. But that changed 8 days ago when the accusers flammed.
Now, we're going back to listen to how this all started, how it all unfolded. And because we listened to Jay-Z's lawyer speak up, now we're going to listen to how all this came about within the last month. Like the video, fair use.
Flamboyant attorney Tony Busby amended the suit to include Jay-Z's legal name, Sean Carter. Prior to that, Jay-Z was known only as Celebrity A in the suit. The woman, who's identified at this point only as Jane Doe from Alabama, granted an interview to NBC News, which aired Friday night. And when it aired, Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, pounced. He wants this lawsuit thrown out of court. That's how bad he claims things are. First, a little bit of background on the suit. I've told you about it before. The woman claims she went to the MTV Video Music Awards back in 2000 when she was just 13 years old, and then an after party where she says Jay-Z and Sean Combs raped her at a house as an unnamed female celebrity, Celebrity B, watched. The woman said while outside the VMAs at radio...
I don't know if they're going to name the female celebrity. I don't think so. I think they're going to not say anything because this is already... There's so many inconsistencies. Like the video.
City Music Hall, she couldn't get in because she didn't have a ticket, so she hung out outside and talked to limo drivers. The lawsuit says one of the limousine drivers she spoke to claimed to work for defendant Combs. The driver told her that Combs liked younger girls and said she fit what Diddy was looking for.
Alleged.
And while not allowing her into the awards, the driver invited her to an after party. The driver stated that he had to drive Combs and others to the after party first, but instructed plaintiff to return to his location after the event.
Okay, so now it's saying he had to drive him there first and then come back. Like the video.
And that he pick her up and take her to the after party. The suit describes the woman being taken to a house where she saw and spoke with other celebrities and drank something that made her feel woozy and eventually made her way to a room where she said there was only a bed. The suit states, soon after, Combs entered the room along with defendant Carter and a female celebrity, Celebrity B. Plaintiff immediately recognized all three celebrities. Combs aggressively approached plaintiff with a crazed look in his eyes, grabbed her and said, "You are ready to party." Combs then threw plaintiff toward a wall, causing plaintiff to fall. Plaintiff got up and stumbled, at which point Combs grabbed her again and threw her on the bed. At that point, Carter began removing plaintiff's clothes as she grew more and more disoriented.
So they're trying to put Jay-Z at the forefront of the removal of the clothes. Like the video. All comments are alleged. Can't confirm or deny. Jay-Z lawyer just debunked a lot of this. But let's listen to what was alleged.
Plaintiff was held down by Carter as he vaginally raped her. Combs and Celebrity B watched. After Carter finished, he stepped back toward the wall. Combs then stepped forward and vaginally raped plaintiff while Carter and Celebrity B watched. Combs then knocked plaintiff down and attempted to force plaintiff to perform oral sex on him. She fought back, standing up quickly and punching out at the same time, hitting Combs in the neck. Taken aback, Combs stopped his attempt. Now, we still to this day don't know who Celebrity B, the female, is alleged to be. The woman's attorney, Tony Busby, had sent a demand letter to Jay-Z's lawyers when the suit was first filed, seeking mediation. Fast forward to last Friday night, NBC News aired its interview with the woman and posted it on its website. The story quotes the woman as saying, "I have made some mistakes," in her recollections of that night. The woman, identified as Jane Doe in the lawsuit led against Jay-Z and Diddy, told NBC News. The woman said she stands by her allegations overall. The inconsistencies in her account of the incident, alleged to have happened 24 years ago, do not necessarily mean the allegations are false. Now,
hold on.
It's that time of year.
Like the video. There's about 371 in the building. If I can please get 300 people to please subscribe, and thank you if you've already subscribed. And please make sure you turn on your notification. We're letting the commercial go past. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. All it is a double tapping of a screen. Double tap the screen. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Happened 24 years ago do not necessarily mean the allegations are false. Now, I'll get to what Jay-Z and his legal team are saying about this in a moment. NBC News went on to detail some of the inconsistencies, including that the woman said her father picked her up after the assault, but he told NBC News he doesn't remember that, and it would have been a 5-hour drive had he done so. The woman also claimed she spoke to Benji Madden at the after party, but his reps told NBC News he was on tour in the Midwest that night, not in New York. I want to tell you about Upside. It's a free app that gets you cash back on things like gas and groceries.
Let the commercial go past. Like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Please continue to double tap the screen. If you're watching from a phone, all it takes is a double tap to hit the like or hit the thumbs up above the video. Below the video, there's a commercial. She has to do her ad promotion. I don't want to play that. Thanks for being here. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new, where you're watching from. Press 5 if you've been here before, where you're watching from. Thanks for being here, everyone. We're just listening of how this case unfolded and how Jay-Z's lawyer just debunked a lot of stuff. I appreciate everyone for being here. Let's see. Let's go past that. Okay.
To admit, I have made...
Good afternoon, Texas. Good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Mistakes. I may have made a mistake and I...
Hello, California. Hello, Maryland. Yeah, what's going on in Maryland? I just did a short in regards to there's drones flying over Maryland. Thanks for being here. If anyone wants to send in a super chat, or do we also have memberships available as well? Hello, Arizona. Thanks for being here. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
Identifying. She claims the assault took place at an after party at Mr. Combs' home, but photos that night show Mr. Combs and Mr. Carter at Lotus nightclub for the after party.
Hello, South Jersey.
When pressed, the plaintiff admitted she was guessing about key details, including the time it took to reach the venue. She admits she has no single corroborating witness over the last 24 years. Now, Spyro also took some shots at attorney Tony Busby, claiming he didn't vet this woman or the suit before taking it on. He wrote, "It is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting,
but
would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. We are asking this court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and will take up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed the complaint." Busby said the firm that referred the suit to his firm vetted the claims and the accuser. In a statement to NBC News, Busby said, "Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another who vetted it prior to sending it to us. Our client remains fiercely adamant."
So many people are upset about that. Why would you not still vet her? Why would you still not ask for doctors' reports, police reports? Why would you not ask for the test if a test was done? Why would you not seek out and find out what gas station, who was there? So everybody's kind of like, okay, Attorney Busby, you should have did your homework. Even if she was transferred from one law office to another, you should have vetted this. I'm hoping all these other alleged cases he vetted them. I'm hoping. Let's continue. Fair use reaction clip.
That what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. We will continue to vet her claims and collect corroborating data to the extent it exists. Because we have interrogated her intensely, she has even agreed to submit to a polygraph. I've never had a client suggest that before. Jay-Z posted a statement on X. Today's investigative report proves this attorney, Busby, filed a false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. And not to be forgotten, what does Sean Combs' legal team have to say about Jane Doe's inconsistencies?
Good question.
His legal team told me last week a lawyer admitted that over 50 people falsely claimed to be victims. Last Friday, for the second time in a week, a Busby plaintiff has been exposed. This is the beginning of the end of this shameful money grab. I want to bring in Nima Rahmani. He is an entertainment attorney.
Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Thanks for being here, everyone. Press 3 if you knew where you're watching from. Hello, Louisiana. Thanks for being here, everyone. Let's continue.
Also a former federal prosecutor. So, Nima, what do you make of this latest move by Camp Jay-Z with them saying, look, there are inconsistencies in this accuser's story?
Hello, Iowa.
Anjanette, litigation is about chess. And, Tony Busby, I think, made some pretty serious mistakes here. He should have known that Jay-Z was going to come out swinging.
Idaho.
Busby knew that Jay-Z was the one who filed the extortion lawsuit against him. So before he unmasked his client, and I understand that she's still proceeding as a Jane Doe, but...
Hello, Costa Rica. Thanks for being here. Continue to like the video, you guys. Double tap the screen. Continue to like the video. Let's continue.
Move forward with a very serious complaint like this. You should have vetted the allegations. Now, I'm not saying that it didn't happen, but jurors and members of the public might take these inconsistencies to mean that she's lying. So certain things should have been done already, like ask her father if he indeed drove and picked her up that evening.
Yep.
That's an easy question to ask. And I understand that the friend who drove her to the VMAs and after party appears to be deceased, but asked if there's any other percipient witnesses. I think they should have done a little bit more vetting before they move forward with these types of allegations against someone like Jay-Z, who they know is going to fight them and call her a liar.
And Jay-Z is somebody with a lot of resources. He's hired Quinn Emanuel. I mean, that's a heavy hitter law firm in New York. They're not going to take this lying down. So he's fighting this with everything he has. I mean, he's putting out statements like crazy on Twitter. And they're really fighting not only a legal battle here, but a PR battle.
No question. And, I'm here in Los Angeles, and my daughter used to go to school with Beyonce and Jay-Z's daughter, Blue Ivy.
Wow.
They have a lot of money. And I have cases against a lot of people in the entertainment industry.
Hello, Idaho.
Alex Spiro and Quinn Emanuel. And you got to know what their MO is, because Jay-Z is not just fighting this case. He's fighting for his reputation, for all his business dealings, for his wife. So they are going to drag this victim through the mud. So this is something you need to prepare your client for. And look, I've sued lots of people in the music industry, Kanye, Lizzo, and I prepare all my clients the same way, saying, listen, they're going to call you a liar. We need to make sure every one of these allegations is accurate, because if not, guess what? That's going to help prove their case. We need to have our credibility. We need to have our likability. So this is something that should have been done before. And the problem is, NBC is fantastic, but now in the past week or so, we've had 2 victim interviews, one with CNN and one with NBC. And the vetting that NBC did was really sort of surface level that should have been done by Busby's firm already. And, Busby's response was, well, we got this case referred from another firm that vetted it, but that doesn't really absolve you of your responsibility as a plaintiff's lawyer. Again, I'm not saying that this means that the victim is lying. I don't remember what I had for breakfast this morning, so much less something that happened 24 years ago. But you have to anticipate.
Yeah, but then when you have the dad come out and speak that he does not recall, He doesn't recall driving 5 hours to go assist and help his daughter, and then you drive another 5 hours home. Come on. You don't recall speaking to the attendant if something happened to your daughter? You guys, this is where the concerns are. If the father can't place himself in that position, or talking to the police or the hospital or getting a test done, that's where everybody's side eyeing the situation. Like the video, fair use reaction clip.
This if you're Busby in his firm, and I think he did a poor job doing so.
One thing that I've noticed too is that, a week ago when Tony Busby amended the complaint and named Jay-Z, he was putting out tweets and things of that nature. Now he's silent. I mean, he had put out a statement to NBC News after this interview ran. The accuser, I want to say, is standing by her assertions that this was Jay-Z and Sean Combs, but she does admit she may have misidentified other people. I don't know if that bodes well for this entire thing, but she stands by all of this other stuff. But there are some holes in the story, it sounds like. So he said nothing else on Twitter. There are no other tweets. Do you make anything of that?
Potentially, yes. And we know that the best defense is the good offense. So, there's a small handful of people that defend musicians in these types of cases, and this is their MO in all the cases, to go after the lawyer and go after the victim. I've been called every name in the book by some of these lawyers, right? My clients have been shamed. But you brought up a good point. Someone like Benji Madden, right? Another celebrity who, at least according to the complaint, was there. And there's this discussion about his tattoos and the religious significance. And it turns out he was nowhere near New York on that date. He was
nowhere
touring
near
in the Midwest. So that's a pretty significant statement that turned out to be inaccurate. And maybe...
So that's the biggest concern. Who can corroborate her story? If Benji Madden wasn't there and his brother or whoever he was on tour with, and then the father, why didn't Busby's law office sit down with this person to say, this is what's going to be asked of you? This is what's going to be asked of your father. Why did they not prepare her better? That's what everybody's saying. Side eyeing. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip.
Busby is doing a little bit more vetting now, because anytime you bring a case like this in, Jeanette, that's decades old, and the victim admits that she didn't tell anyone, right? There's no contemporaneous report. You really want to corroborate these facts to the extent that you can and do that vetting. And I do think that maybe Busby is doing that now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's so quiet, because he's taken some blows, at least in...
Whoever said patience.
Like the video. Gotta let the commercial go past. Thanks for being here, everyone. If you've already subscribed, please put subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the page. We're definitely trying to hit 34K. Thanks for being here. Like I said, 2 months ago, we had 3,000 subscribers. So our page is paging. And we've covered a lot of Diddy concerns in regards to what's been alleged, and we are now covering what's being alleged about Jay-Z. If you're just now coming in, the first hour of the video, Jay-Z's lawyer spoke out. Let's continue.
I don't know if that was the best decision, but somebody obviously made the decision that she should do this interview.
Yep.
Yeah, so this kind of cuts both ways. Oftentimes lawyers do not want their clients giving interviews because they're giving statements, and it can give rise to inconsistencies.
Right.
You see it time and time again, even in a criminal case, right? Even if your client is innocent, most lawyers will tell their client, advise them, don't talk to law enforcement.
Yep.
Because at trial, those statements can be used against you, and it's no different. But we are seeing a shift, at least in the PR strategy by Busby's team, apparently, because, again, now they've given 2 sit-down interviews with major news networks. The other was not related to Jay-Z, but it's the security guard who was allegedly raped by Combs. That was a pretty extensive interview with CNN, and now we have this NBC interview by this specific victim. But if I'm Busby, I want to make sure that I really start looking for that corroborating evidence to see if there's other victims that may have accusations against Jay-Z, because we know oftentimes when there are abusers, they don't necessarily just abuse one person. To see if we can do anything to corroborate and bolster this particular case, because it's hurting a little bit right now.
Well, it will be interesting to see what comes of this. I mean, that letter that Alex Spiro sent, I mean, I can see why he sent that. He sent it immediately. I mean, it came out within a couple of hours of the NBC story posting. You know, I will be interested to see how the judge responds moving forward. But it doesn't, I mean, at this point, do you see this?
Do you think that the judge will dismiss the case? If you think that the judge will dismiss the case, put dismiss. If you think the case will move forward, put move forward. Press 3 if you're new where you're watching from. Press 3 if you're new where you're watching from. There's about 260 in the building. Please subscribe to the page. Turn on the notification bell. Let me know in the comments. What do you think is going to transpire? If you're just not coming in, Jay-Z lawyer spoke out in the first hour of the video. Let's continue.
Not looking good for the accuser.
Potentially, again, it's just one defeat. We talk about chess, right? Maybe Busby's lost a particular piece, but the case isn't necessarily over. He says he believes his client is insisting on moving forward. Ultimately, these are factual determinations for a jury, but they need to know that there's going to be a lot of mud that's slinged at them over the coming weeks and months until this case goes to trial. We know Spiro's MO, right? He's going to try to unmask this client, right? And we've talked about it, how federal judges, there's no rule that says that victims of sexual abuse have to remain anonymous. And a lot of the plaintiffs in the Combs cases, the civil cases, they've had to identify themselves. And that may be the case here. So that would be sort of step one. I would tell my client, hey, you might have to be publicly named.
Right.
And then, you know, obviously Busby has resources. He has money. He needs to hire investigators and then to go back and do this type of investigation. And again, the easiest step would have been Dad, because obviously they have access to him. But anyone else that she may have been friends with that can verify that she was even there that evening, right? Just basic steps like that. Who else was at that after party? Let's contact them. Let's start asking questions. I think that investigation is going to be very, very important, because
it's also interesting that the friend that alleged drove her there left her there, and then she drove 5 hours by herself, and then the friend never drove back with the dad. You know what I'm saying? And then unfortunately, the friend has passed away. Like the video, fair use, reaction clip. Continue to hit the thumbs up button, you guys. To hit the like button is free. Anyone wants to donate to the channel, that's welcome. Super chat is the $. You can donate to the channel, and we also have memberships available. Let's continue.
If you lose the court of public opinion, jurors, even though they're supposed to decide the case solely based on the facts and evidence of that case, we've seen time and time again, and Jeanette, and we've talked about it, how public opinion matters, right? It can be in the Johnny Depp case. It can be in the Luigi Mangione case. It doesn't matter what the case is. So you got to make sure that that's all buttoned up if you're going to move forward and give these types of interviews and make these types of accusations.
Yep.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you guys. So we did everything. We heard about what Jay-Z's lawyer had to say. That was the first hour. Then we heard what Stephen A. had to say in regards to the accusation. Then we heard how this all came about in regards to the lawsuit being filed. So that's everything, you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. Like the video as you guys come in. Let me see if there was something else I wanted to pull. Like the video. Thanks for being here. Yeah, I'm going to play that. So let's hold on.
Tonight, Jesus.
Oh, okay. It's ready. Hold on. Like the video as you guys come in. Fair use reaction clip.
NBC's attorney Alex Spiro is pushing to get a judge to dismiss the rape lawsuit against his client, citing an NBC News exclusive that found inconsistencies with the accuser's account.
We expect Mr. Carter to be fully cleared of all of this in the coming days. Almost nothing that she says is checked out because this never happened.
This in the wake of our interview with a 38-year-old mother from Alabama.
So now this is Jay-Z's lawyer sitting down in an interview. Let's continue.
Who accuses Jay-Z, whose real name is Sean Carter, and Sean Diddy Combs of raping her when she was 13 years old. She asked us not to reveal her identity.
What made you want to come forward? Because I think that I've been quiet long enough.
She says that she might have some facts wrong, but that she says the incident happened. What do you say to that?
You know, anybody, when they make up a claim, they can just keep repeating it and getting it right. But but you never get the details right. And what happened during her interview with you is that the story began to unravel.
On the night of the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, she says Combs' limo driver took her to an after party. There, she says she spoke to musician Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo. That's the Last Supper.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative for the Maddens confirmed they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at that time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter both raped her. She says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened.
In an interview with NBC News,
now who rides home in silence with a father when a father has to pick you up 5 hours away and then you have to go home 5 hours? That's 10 hours in the car. And for a dad not to remember that, come on, you guys. There's some concerns here. Like the video, like the video, like the video.
Father said he could not corroborate her story. I feel like I would remember that, and I don't, he said. The woman revealed to us that she has autism and previously suffered a head injury. In a follow-up phone interview, we asked her about the contradictions, and she said that she stands by her statements.
This woman is standing by her story. It happened over 20 years ago. Maybe her memory is hazy. Maybe her father doesn't remember that night.
No, she's doubled down on certain of these details. She says, I'm positive. She points out the tattoo. She talks about the tattoo in vivid detail. Turns out that's completely false. And the father is supposed to be picking her up.
Yeah.
10-hour drive, round trip to pick her up in the middle of the night.
10 hours.
Has no memory of that. No one has come forward about this in nearly a quarter of a century, and that's because this never happened.
Spyro said he's not only seeking justice for Jay-Z, he says that he also wants to expose the accuser's attorney, Tony Busby.
He takes away the voices from real victims, and he causes real harm. If this lawyer has any sense, he's going to dismiss this claim. I don't know whether he has any sense.
Busby, who has filed more than 20 lawsuits against Combs, told NBC News that he is continuing to vet the accuser's claims and that she has agreed to undergo a polygraph this week. A representative for Combs called the suit a shameless money grab.
Since your attorneys refiled the lawsuit against Combs naming Jay-Z, he has come out with a very long statement saying that this is completely not true and that this is all about trying to get money from him. What do you say about that?
I haven't asked for a dime from him. It's not everything is motivated by money, and I'm sorry that he feels that it is.
This woman also told us on camera last week that this isn't about money.
Well, let's be serious. A lawyer like this is not sending out these letters not to make money. He wants money and fame. He doesn't care about truth and justice, and that's what's going on here.
Wow.
Chloe joins us in studio. So, Chloe, explain this to me. The attorney for the...
So, Jay-Z's lawyer sat down with the interview, the same alleged accuser. So, she was asking him questions. Let's continue.
Plaintiffs, Tony
Fair
Busby,
use.
right? He's sticking by his client, even though you've been able to report these inconsistencies and they are now out there in the public?
Yes, and because of our exclusive report here on Top Story, he's actually going to have Jane Doe do a polygraph test. He says he hasn't done it yet, but that they are going to be doing it this week. He also said in a statement to us moments ago that their conduct throughout all of this has been beyond reproach and will continue to be, even though that's not what you're hearing Alex Spyro, Jay-Z's attorney, what he's saying. Also, I just want to show you, Jay-Z's team created a timeline. Obviously, they...
Good morning, Paris. Everyone say good morning to Paris. She's my day one. Day one. She's been with me for almost 2.5 months. She's my day one. Hello, Paris. Everyone say good morning to Paris. She is a member and she is my mod. So thanks for being here, Paris. She was 13, allege. 13, allege. Good morning. Good morning.
Even though this took place allegedly 24 years ago, right? They are saying that there is just no way that he could have been at the VMAs. He's on camera there until the end of the VMAs, which ended right after 11. And that there are photographs of him at the Lotus Club in Manhattan. And they say he was there till 3 a.m. and then he went to the music studio. So again, they are adamant that they're...
Hello. No one is obsessed with celebrities. We are talking hot topics, trending topics. That's what we do. Thanks for being here, everyone. Thanks for being here. Like the video, subscribe to the page. Let's continue.
He was not at that party.
He was not at any sort of after party.
I do want to ask you this. What is Jay-Z's sort of legal team strategy in describing the relationship between Diddy and Jay-Z? Because there are a ton of photos of them over the years, obviously before these allegations came out.
This civil suit, Tom, originally just named Combs, and then it was amended last weekend to include Jay-Z.
Yep.
What Alex Spyro said to me today is that although publicly Jay-Z supported Diddy, they were not best friends. They were not as close as you thought that they were. So in terms of knowledge of what went on allegedly at these white parties and what took place allegedly in these civil suits and the criminal charge and the trial, he says Jay-Z has no knowledge of any of that. Again, he publicly supported him as a fellow musician and someone where they came up together in the industry, but that they weren't as close as you thought.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking.
Like the video, like the video. Thanks for being here, everyone. Wow, Paris, you actually caught the tail end. You might have been in the comments, though. But I thank everyone for being here. I don't want my tablet to die. I don't want my tablet to die. I appreciate everyone for being here. Fair use copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. I thank everyone for being here. It's been a long hour and 30-something minutes. Continue to hit the like button, you guys. We have about 205 in the building. Please hit the like button, everyone. If I can please get 200 people to please hit the like button before you exit. And please subscribe. We're trying to hit 34K. I'll have to check it. Maybe we hit 34K today. I don't know. But I'll have to check it. But thanks for being here, everyone. I appreciate you. Bye, Paris. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Many blessings to all of you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
News and top stories on...
Focus on healthy, safe relationships. Be around people that's loving, kind, and respectful. Goodbye.